Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to part 3 of our zero overall rebuild. We are rebuilding the Vikings in this. For those of you who have not seen parts 1 and 2, make sure to go check those ones out. We are currently sitting at an 83 overall offense, 81 defense, 82 overall. This is actually, I believe, we are heading into the start of the third season of our rebuild. We're going to just do a quick look over of our lineup that we have at the moment. We're just going to do generate best lineup, make sure that we have everything kind of set up. We still have our star quarterback. He doesn't have a ton of success yet at this point. We're really hoping he's going to get that this year. Now that he has a core of all 80 overall receivers, and then we did draft Davis here in the second round. He's probably not going to get a ton of snaps right off the bat. We might move him into the slot throughout this first season, just because he wasn't too far below McCole Hardman on that list, or we might throw Jamison Williams in. He was kind of our big free agency signing going into the season. And then our defense looks like they can develop quite a bit more. With our first pick, I was originally going to try and draft a wide receiver, hopefully, but then I saw this cornerback, and he was expected to go a lot later in the first round, and I was like, I just have to take him. He's probably going to move into being that number 2 role sometime this season, if not this season, next season. And then we do have Hooker down here as our 4th cornerback. We did try to get it so that he could be our 3rd corner on the team, but I think we might have to just rock with him there at the moment. And we did sign Grover Stewart for this year, basically filling in right where we had Michael Pierce before. We really got to find some guys that are going to be studs for this defensive line, and just kind of some people to develop into a lot of the other positions. Our secondary is looking pretty decent. They're all fairly young still at this point. But that front 7 is kind of where we have to do most of our development, other than Gordon, who we drafted with the number 2 overall pick last at the start of the last season that we recorded. We're going to hop into it. I'm going to meet those of you on YouTube in a little bit. I'm going to start filming again into recording when we get to after we've gone through cutting everybody to just get a little bit of an updated overall. Alrighty, so we are at week 1 of the regular season. I don't know exactly what happened going into this week. Our defense had a 82 overall rating, and then I simmed to the next week. It went into week 1, and then it went back down to an 81. I guess some of our main goals for this season are, I'm hoping that we're going to hit 7 wins, so that's what I'm going to set as the season goal. And then I'm hoping our quarterback makes it up to a 90 overall. He had 2 dev trait points that he earned in the preseason. And so I think he's sitting at 87 right now. So if he can get 3 more throughout the season, I think that's going to be great. And then, yeah, we just need to do better than 5 wins this season. 82 overall is probably sitting at where we should be getting close to the playoffs, but I don't think we're going to make the playoffs in this season. I will meet up with you guys after we get to the playoffs. Alrighty, we are in week 13 now. This is what happened in week 12. We somehow win the offensive and the defensive player of the week. However, we did not win the game. We lost by 3 points. I don't know why they decided, oh yeah, you guys did really well with these 2 positions. Like, this just doesn't make sense. Like, what is going on, Madden? Like, you should not be able to have the offensive and the defensive player of the week if you didn't win the game. Just flat and simple. It should be pretty easy to figure that out. Alrighty, so we set a couple goals going into this. Uh, our QB, trying to get him up to a 90 overall. He is at a 90 overall. I think he might even be at a 91 now. And then trying to get those 7 wins. We got those seven wins. Our entire NFC North division actually did really well this year. We had a very, very good offense, which is something that we haven't had. We didn't have much of a rushing attack, which is a little bit unfortunate. But we did get a contract extension, and if we look over here, just some looks at what some awards are going to be. Our QB was getting pretty close to being in that MVP conversation. We just did not have enough wins. And he didn't have a ton of rushing touchdowns, even though he was rushing the ball quite a bit. But he was at 5 when I looked at week 13 or 14. So he did move up above Patrick Mahomes in that MVP conversation for this year. So I'm looking forward to see what happens. And yeah, I'll meet you guys up with you guys over on YouTube when we get up to the Super Bowl, kind of go over those awards, and I'll let you know if there were any of our key players that ended up making the Pro Bowl. Ready, so here we are at the Super Bowl. We had 3 players that actually made the Pro Bowl. One of them was Elijah Mitchell, who was our number 1 wide receiver. He went off for a lot of yards, and he got a lot of touchdowns because our QB had the second most touchdowns in the league. And then our cornerback that we were talking about, how we wanted to make room for him in the coming up potentially, he ended up winning the kick returner of the year. And then Kaiser White actually made the middle linebacker position 2 spot, which I guess with the amount of times that he won Player of the Week, it kind of makes sense. We're just going to kind of go over the awards here. As we saw before, Owen Sims is at 4th in MVP conversation. Our coach is not going to be in there for Coach of the Year at all. We didn't have a winning record. They shouldn't put him in there. Elijah Moore was 3rd on Offensive Player of the Year. A little surprising that with him making 1st in the Pro Bowl, that he wasn't above CeeDee Lamb in there. But I guess it makes sense. And then Owen Sims down here at 7. He did have quite a few rushing touchdowns on top of his passing touchdowns. So he was the 2nd quarterback on this, or 3rd quarterback on the list. Defensive Player of the Year, we had Oluokun at 4, which is pretty good, and then Kaiser White. I'm starting to wonder if it's the playbook or if it's actually the players that are really good at middle linebacker. Nobody on Offensive Rookie of the Year because we threw that wide receiver in really late into actually getting any receptions. Had we thrown him in earlier, he probably would have been up there. We had Hackett, that corner we drafted. He might have been playing slot mostly, but he did pretty well. Owen Sims, I don't get how he wasn't in the Pro Bowl. It doesn't really make sense. But he was the 3rd quarterback. But yeah, I don't get how you can be top 3 in every conversation for the NFC for quarterback things and not make the Pro Bowl. We don't hand the ball off enough to make running back. Elijah Moore gets 2nd wide receiver, which is what we kind of preluded to a little bit ago. And then Nicole Hardman, who I don't think we're going to re-sign, even though he's good. He's going to be turning 29 going into next season, and he's going to kind of decrease at that point. And we have that rookie that we drafted. He was doing pretty well after he had his 2nd start in there. Best linebacker, Kaiser White came in 2nd. Of course, he was the 2nd in the Pro Bowl voting. And then We didn't really have anybody in the DB conversation this year. However, our DBs are starting to develop pretty well. It's mostly all 80 overalls at this point. And then we didn't have a best kicker this year, which is a little disappointing because we did pay somebody that was going to be a little bit better. But yeah, so I'm going to kind of go through re-signing of players, and then I'm going to kind of go over any players that are pretty key that we haven't signed already, and then I'm going to go through the signing of the first day of free agents on recording, and then the rest of them I'm going to do off camera. And then if there's any of note, like the last couple times, I'm going to put them into the next segment where we go into the draft itself. So really the only player that we brought back that I can think of was Foyesai Oluwakan. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. But basically, any of the other players decided that they didn't want to take our offers that we were giving them. And so we're going to basically just move on. Right here, Deron Payne looks pretty interesting. We might have to move him to an end position because he is a little faster than what we normally would have. DJ Turner is interesting. He would be basically our number one corner, but we also have a couple other corners that are not too different in age to him that are all also pretty good. Yeah, Kyle Duggar would be intriguing, but he's the same overall as our current strong safety, so there's not really any point to that. Daniel Carlson, we have $4.8 million. We will give you a contract here. I know we've kind of been shifting towards only having guys that are under 30 or at 30, but he's a kicker and it's a one-year contract, so I don't really care at that point. Yeah, there was some of our players that, like, I was maybe going to offer Mecole Hardman a contract, but then he lost his dev trade. And so I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to develop you anymore. I think we do have to sign a new running back. Jaylen Warren isn't a bad idea. I know he's probably wanting 2 years, but we're only going to give him a 1 year. Yeah, because Chuba Hubbard, he'd probably be really good for it for our team, but he doesn't really want to sign here. Yeah, so I think the first one we're gonna do is Tank Bigsby. Let's if we evaluate the difference, so Jaylen Warren's a 72 power back and a 71 receiving back, whereas Tank Bigsby is 73 power back, 64 receiving. He's going to develop probably, Bigsby will, but I think we're just going for a 1 year deal at this point. In which case, I think Jaylen Warren's the better deal for us. Let's see, fullback. I want to try to bring back we had that Steven Brooks. We're going to try to bring him back for another year. He just didn't take the offer that I gave him. He's been playing as our fullback. I'm going to actually withdraw that offer to get somebody that's a little bit bigger of a need. So what do I have right now? So far we've offered Daniel Carlson and Jaylen Warren. I think we are going to go offer Deron Payne a deal, 1 year. Sounds great. Let's see. We go down. Do we have? I think we have somebody at left tackle right now. Yeah, we have David Edwards there. He's doing the job fine. I don't know why Chuma Ndoga is still listed there because we did not give him a contract extension. At least that I know of. Oh no, I think we did because he was $2.5 million, and I was like, might as well. Okay, so if we're getting real here, what positions do we need? We need front seven. Is there? There's not really a top middle linebacker that wants to sign. It's younger. We did draft that guy. He's 72 already. Last year, and then we did re-sign Aluakun, so we at least have our two starters at that position. Hopefully, there's not really like anybody that's an edge player that I was really hoping for. I was really hoping we were going to have a speed rusher that we were going to put in. That's just not the case. I am going to offer. I am a little tempted to do some of these offerings, but I think we're gonna offer Amenahue the same offer that we gave him that he declined going into this, just because I think he's probably the best bet we have at this point. I guess we could offer this to Clavon Chason in case we don't find somebody. Don't really want to do that, but I think that might be our best option at the moment, just because there's really no edge rushers whatsoever. Yeah, we're gonna offer him this. Only 1 year, 2 years is gonna take him out too far. Let's see if they all sign with us. 2 people signed contracts and they both signed him with us. Deron Payne is getting a really big offer there by the Patriots. Let's see if we can. We're gonna do very. Yeah, sure. We have all the money in the world right now. I think that should give us the edge there. He signed with somebody, and it was us. That is great news. Yeah, I think that's really the only signings that I feel like need to be on recording. Those are going to be all the impact ones. But yeah, I will catch up with you guys in the recording by the time we get to the draft. Alrighty, so we are about to hop into the draft here. So we have the 9th overall pick. That's not bad. We should be able to get some sort of star power out of that. We are very much looking for either a deep 3-4 defensive end or an edge rusher, basically at this point. I'm going to probably only record the first 3 rounds of the draft. If you want to check out the rest of it, you can stop over at my Twitch channel. Or you can stop by for the next time we're streaming an episode, which I'll kind of probably be figuring out later on towards the end of the stream here. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes. Hopefully this next year we can build on our win amount again. It seems that we've been doing that every single year. The benefit here is we also do have the 13th overall pick. I probably could have tried to use that to trade up for another draft pick, but it is what it is at this point. Unfortunately, all the positions that are kind of available right here are the positions that we don't need. And then I could always draft like here, this is a speed rusher right here. If he's got really good speed, we might think about it. Yeah, here's the thing there. He has a finesse move, but then his power rush is D. But he He can catch the ball. Looks like he's got all of the different pass rush moves, which is really beneficial if we're going to have him actually being on the edge. 252 pounds. He's not going to be very versatile at what he's doing, but I think with where we're standing right now, that might be our best bet. I'm going to look just a little bit further on the off chance. There's this defensive tackle. He looks really good. We could probably draft him at 13th pick. Honestly, I'm going to look to see if somebody wants to trade up. Just because there's a lot of tackles in here. We don't really need an offensive lineman at the moment. So yeah, let's see if anybody really wants to trade up. See if we can get another first round again next year for some chance. I don't think it's going to happen. We can get some people are offering us a second. We do want to trade down for staying inside of this draft. Trading down to the 16th spot isn't terrible. I'm really betting on the chance that edge rusher is still there. I think this one's a 4th this year. I think I'm gonna trade with the Texans here. Hopefully I'm gonna see kind of who they ended up taking. I'm guessing it's probably going to be a tackle to block for Tua, and it was. Some of those tackles look really good. I just think for our purposes, it's not worth it to try and draft. Yeah, right there we got another great. We are going to take that outside linebacker, and then at 15 we're going to see if kind of scope out defensive tackles. I haven't really looked into the class too much. Here he is. He looks like he's going to be good. But all of his things are not scouted much. I've just got to hope. I've just really got to hope. If he doesn't have a dev trait, it's a good thing we at least traded down. And he does. That's great. He's going to be our starting left outside linebacker. I know that we have Clavon Chase on that we just signed for that 1 year, but he really was a placeholder. Yeah, they draft a wide receiver there. We're not too concerned about wide receivers at the moment. Does this defensive tackle look like he is the real deal? We would be moving him over. So he's a little slow to be moving over to that left end slot. I want to see if there is a defensive tackle down the board a little bit that we actually want to take more. This guy's also round 1-2. He's not quite as good. It's not that I'm like, oh, I really, really need to trade down. I don't like this guy. It's more of a... This guy is classified as a run stopper, despite having B for both of them. Ooh. Okay. Alex Holiday is the guy we want. But it looks like there's a lot of them. So I think we can trade down more from this pick 15 spot to get one of those defensive tackles. And if it's not the one that we were hoping for, then I guess we can draft one of the other ones and it should be fine. We now know that we do want that defensive tackle, but I'm not super duper concerned about it. pick 21. That'll go down 6 spots, pick 19. You also get a 5th. I think we're trading down to 21, picking up all those picks with it. I'm just hoping for a miracle basically at this point. And they take that pass rusher. Gordon Watkins, I don't think he was the guy that we really wanted. So I think we're okay still at the moment. Okay, I think we lucked out. I think the defensive tackle that we wanted was not either of those two. I think it's... Yeah, it was Holiday? Yes. Okay. I'm hoping he's hidden. If not, we traded down. He is not hidden development, but he looks like he is going to be incredible coming off of as a 3-tech for us. I just need somebody that's better than a 72 overall, basically, is what it came down to at that point. So there's probably 2 more picks that we're going to record here. There is this run stopper. Does he have incredible speed? No, he's actually not that great, probably. He's probably fine, but for what we're going for, I don't think he's the right person. If this power rusher defensive tackle he's 4th in speed, it's great. I think if it was elite, we would have taken him and then put him in to develop under our guy that we've been signing 1-year contracts for the last couple seasons. Let's see. We could draft another tight end. I think we are getting close to the end of the contract with Noah Fant. So that could be a possibility that we think about. We didn't really pass to him much. There's this outside linebacker that I bet is going to work actually really well if we move him into middle linebacker. And I think we got to go for it. I know he's probably not going to be quite as great as I'm hoping, but we need, if nothing else, he can develop well. If in real life he would have been getting development under a Luakun, who is a really good middle linebacker in the league. This is going to be the last recorded draft pick. For this draft, I think we want to go somewhere kind of like, if this elusive back has an under 4.3 speed, no. It's definitely not. This guard looks good. They are a dev trait. I think let's just pull the trigger. He is in development. That is great. We'll see whether or not we slide him over to the right guard position. We did sign Cody Mock, which is a fun pick, or a fun player. But if this guy is better than 73 overall, then I think we're going to have to put him in there. If not, we might let him develop a little bit, because I think a lot of the spots on our offensive line need help. But yeah, I will catch up with you guys in just a second. For you guys, for me, it's going to be a little bit because I got to do all these draft picks. Looked at what the actual overalls are for these players yet. I just finished the draft. I traded away several of those day 3 picks. So I think next year we have like 4 6th round picks now at this point currently. So that should be interesting when it gets to that point. But here we go. We're hopping in. Let's see. Okay, 74 overall is not what I was hoping for that right outside linebacker. It's not terrible. I've just really got to hope that he's got a decent dev trait. I got to be careful not to spoil it for myself because either way, he is going to end up getting it this year. I really thought this guy was better than he was. I think if I move him over to that position, he's... Well, we'll see. He's only a 70. Could be better, but it'll do for right now. This pass coverage linebacker, hopefully he'll be decent. I was a little worried he was going to be a like 62 overall, which happens a lot. I'm going to move this guy over to the right guard position, and he is going to start there, I believe. I believe he's 1 overall higher. It might just be because of the like thoughts on the current situation that it would be better. I drafted this halfback. He looked decent, and he's a 71 overall. I'll take it. I drafted this tight end. He can't block, so it's probably not the best scenario for being the 3rd tight end, but right now he's the 3rd tight end, so he's not going to play a ton. This wide receiver that I drafted was 6th, it was 70 overall, which I was a little surprised about. And then I drafted this guy to kind of be a development piece. He looks okay. I probably could have done a little bit better. And then this guy right here, I don't know. Oh, this was a guy that the computer drafted. So I'm going to move him over to right end because that's a little bit closer to kind of what he's resembling at the moment. Yeah, I was like, I want to see what they're going to draft for me, and then I think that's what they drafted. And then this guy, I'm moving into defensive tackle. I'm really hoping he goes up from that 66 overall, because otherwise, yeah, he moves up to a 69 overall at defensive tackle. That is nice. We appreciate that. But yeah, so this was a pretty solid draft. The only player that was below, yeah, it was 69 and above for all those picks. Even after moving stuff around, other than this quarterback, like quarterbacks usually aren't super high overall when you're drafting them anyways. So 64 is pretty decent for just kind of being a cheap backup quarterback. And then during this first year, he's going to develop a little bit because I did sign somebody that had that mentor trait. But yeah, I'm excited to see how this next season goes. Hopefully we make the playoffs this year. That would be really great if we do. Let's go in here and adjust the depth charts. We're just going to automatically do it. I did not get that quarterback that I thought I had. So that's an interesting thing to realize at this point. So we're probably going to sign one to be the 3rd quarterback in there. Yeah, this wide receiver I just took a shot on. I was like, oh, it's a 6th round pick. I feel free just taking a shot, and he's going to be pretty decent. He'll probably be the 4th wide receiver next year because I doubt that we're going to try to keep Anthony Brown around unless he's going for really cheap. Yeah, I'm going to Basically, I'm gonna have the end of this episode be the point of the end of this season, going into the off season, and then I think I'm probably gonna go up to the draft, and then I'm gonna cut it off there, and then have kind of the kickoff for the next part be all surrounding the draft. Assuming that we don't somehow make the Super Bowl, in which case we're just going to make an entire episode that's us playing the Super Bowl. Alrighty, so we are going to do just a little bit of a rundown of our lineup before we actually hop into this season. It keeps trying to put Cody Mock above the guy that we drafted, but I think based off of what we know, and him actually already being a higher overall regularly, it just doesn't make sense for us to do that. It just really wants us to. But yeah, this is kind of what our layout looks like. We tried to get better on the defensive line. It just didn't happen to work out for us how we thought it would. But yeah, I think there's a couple spots that I missed out on actually noticing some things. Cornerback, we don't really have this is our fifth cornerback is only 69 overall. And then I think our really low lineup wide receivers, like our sixth wide receiver, were pretty low overall as well. Special teams, we had Hooker actually made it to the Pro Bowl last year at that position, and I think we want to just make him actually do both of them this time, because clearly he was doing something right. And then it keeps trying to mess some things up in the depth chart, but we want to get this rookie developed. Hopefully he has a really high overall. Some of these players on our practice squad are probably going to get wiped up like right away. We'll see how long some of them last. But yeah, we need to get rid of 17 players that were on our roster heading into the season. So hopefully we made the right decisions and we can really pull out with a really good season this year. We are hoping that it goes a little bit better than last year, but I set our expectation to 7 weeks or 7 wins again, just because I don't think we improved in the ways that we needed to make it to the playoffs this year. But hopefully I will be proved wrong. And so I will meet up with you in just a second here at the playoffs. All right, here's something that happened last year that's happening again. They're giving Owen Sims, our superstar X Factor quarterback, the opportunity to get a dev trade increase again. But the only thing there is he can't get an increased dev trade. Like last time, he didn't meet the requirements. They're like, he'll just have to stay at the same dev trait that he is. It's like, well, yeah, because he's not going up anymore either way. Sorry, that's just a quick rant. Something that doesn't really make sense. But yeah, I will actually catch you guys now at the playoffs. We are here at the playoffs. Don't know how. Somehow we actually ended up winning our division with a 9-8 record. We started off the season actually really, really hot. We won. I think we started off like 5-1 or 6-2 or something like that. And then it just kind of all collapsed. I don't know exactly what happened. I think most of it was like our offense started off as the number 3 offense up until like week 8. And then when I looked at around week 16, we were actually in like 16th best offense or something like that. I don't know really what happened. We did play Atlanta, and I think this is probably going to be the end of that there for us. But who knows? We might beat them this time. We did. It was actually pretty close last time. I think it was 37-31. So we did end up winning that one. And then our quarterback has been getting a lot of awards for the weekly awards stuff. I don't think he's probably quite gotten enough of the actual counting stats overall, because there was one week that we only scored 3 points. Don't know what happened there, but I think we have the opportunity here to make it fairly far in the playoffs, and I think either way I don't think we're going to make it to the Super Bowl this year. We just don't have the team for that. But we're on, this is the final year of his rookie contract, our quarterback. Next year will be his 5th-year option contract. So if we get really close this year, next year might be the final year for us. We only made it past the first round, so I would not say that we're really, really far forward. It is saying that we basically just need defensive line players. I think that's probably what we really need to hit hard in this upcoming off season. But our first round picks, at least the outside linebacker to play our edge, he's developed pretty well. I didn't really have a ton of expectations for this season. The concept that we made it to the playoffs, even if it was barely making it into the playoffs, I think is a win for us. So that is going to be it for me for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're here at this point still, make sure to drop a like and a comment if you have any other ideas for videos in the future. I believe that probably I know I work on Monday, so I might be live streaming the next episode Sunday night if I have time. Otherwise, it might not be until Tuesday. If I do get the video out on the morning of January 14th, I will for sure be trying to get that next one out on Tuesday. I'll be trying to get that recording out on that day. If not, I look forward to seeing that next live stream happen on Tuesday. I believe I'm free on Tuesday, and we'll be doing that at 10 o'clock. Thank you, and hope you guys have a great rest of your day.